Claude, for this interview. I hope everyone will understand how the financial system works in Canada and how we can take advantage in a good way and how we can benefit from it.
Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure. I do appreciate having me, giving me the time to speak a little bit about the financial landscape here in this country, and also how it actually it can be used to a lot of our community members' advantage.
So, as you know, people who just land in Canada or elsewhere, they struggle uh, when they get to try to settle. There is a financial system which is really new, brand new to them, and there is a whole bunch of things going on that they have to deal with that. But financially, as you know, we don't have some countries or even more countries in Africa. They don't issue credit cards to everyone. But here in Canada, whoever is working can get it. But that person is not trained to handle that card. And at the end of, like, after 5 years, 2 years, when they want to accomplish more uh, achievement, they end up being caught with a bad credit. So I would like you to brief them how they can work on that and build a bright future for our kids and ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Uh, One of the things that I like to stress most of the time is that in this country, the structure of how credit is made here is a little bit different from where we're from. Of course, back home, any person that found himself, person or entity that found himself or themselves uh, with a huge amount of debt, they are considered a failure. And I don't want to stress on the word huge, but basically, any person who borrows anything, it is said that they're in need, so they are the failure, which is quite different here. This is a consumption society here, so we consume a lot. And when we come from where we come from and we get here, we feel. I've actually seen that in our community where we see a lot of people uh, using cash in most of the time. What I wanted to tell them, what I want to say here to explain is that there are needs, and the need number one is the need to build your credit. And building your credit in this country means that you are actually someone who borrow and pays. So you do borrow money from financial institution, and you pay them, and that puts you in books of most financial institutions as a liable person, a
Mm-hmm.
person who can actually, who is capable of taking capital, taking operating capital, and
Okay.
pay them back.
Mm-hmm.
So many different ways of borrowing money here, of course, and there's so many different ways of paying it back as well.
Mm-hmm.
It all come down to how you choose the best options.
All right.
There are people who actually go and borrow money, but when it comes to pay back, they find out that they have paid so much without because they just didn't know the proper channels and the proper options to taking advantages of all these options that the banks will actually put available for you. Now, so building your credit is very important here because when you come here, you have to understand that borrowing money does not necessarily means that you are a failure or you are in need. A lot of people that I know, a lot of enterprises, a lot of businesses will borrow money, just for the sake of writing off the interest, of course. Yeah,
Right.
but if for individuals and people who come in this country, when you borrow money and you pay back, your credit is built up. So using cash all the time, you get paid and you get all that money in cash and you spend it in cash. And nobody anywhere actually in any registry sees you as a person who's borrowing money and paying it off. So your credit is not really being strengthened. So we have to get into that habit. Credit cards are a bit tricky here. Everybody uses credit cards, really.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it's a good idea not to use them, but if you don't care about the future of your children, where you have to actually someday buy a home, for example,
Mhm.
you know, you have to have established that credit card, that credit history.
Yeah.
So the key is to use credit cards, but pay them off as soon as you use them.
Okay.
Most credit cards will have up to 28 days. I think the majority is 26 days of grace period,
Okay.
whereby if you borrow money and pay those money back within 26 days, you're not charged any interest.
Any interest? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is one of the other things I wanted to talk about today. So all the the big five banks here, so they all have different type of credit cards, different
Okay.
sort of credit cards, and most of those credit cards, they will have what we call the money back, the cash back.
Okay.
So that cash back means that for purchases that you make, for online bills that you pay, you get a certain amount or a certain percentage back.
Okay.
So for every dollar that you pay, you get a certain, I think 3% of it back. So not 3% on the dollar, but it's usually 3% on everything you purchase. So you purchase $100 and you get $3 back.
Yeah.
Now, what people don't understand is if you're using a credit card, let's say they give you, you spend $1,000, and within the 26 days you get paid, and you put that with that $1,000 back in the credit card.
Okay.
You can't be charged any interest.
Yeah. Okay.
So you use the money, but you paid it, so no interest. But mind you, you've got $30 because you got 3% back if you use that for
And
groceries
you pay that on time.
and you pay that on time. So you're not being charged any interest, so nothing is charged to you, but you're getting money back into your account.
Okay.
So for every $100 that you pay, it's $3. So you get $30 back for that $1,000.
Okay.
So in a sense, you're actually using the bank's money.
Okay.
The banks is paying you to use
To
their
use
credit
that money.
card.
Yeah.
You know, so the trick is always about knowing how to respect that 26
Days.
days grace period, because when you don't respect that, then the interest will be compounding into your payments.
So that means, as a community, if they can pay off their credit card on time, at the end of like 5 years, if they want to team up together for a big achievement, it will be more easier. Don't you think?
Yeah, of course. Well, as I said, the first thing to do is really try to construct or try to structure that credit history. So if in the future 2 or 3, maybe more people want to get together and build up a community, for example, let's say, uh, I know some of the East Indian do that. They will put money together and buy a house for one person in a community. Let's say about 20 people.
Okay.
Right? They get together. They put money together each year. They buy a house to one person. Or I don't. It depends on how they will structure that.
Okay.
It can be every 6 months. It can be every 3 months.
Mhm.
So, like, if we were to do that, for example, we say, you know what, we want to buy a house for someone, and that person will put money together. Say we open an account, and that account is a community account.
Yeah.
Every bank here opens a community account. Well, they will open a community account for you. I know most of the community bank, like Van City, they're very more advantages
Hmm.
to deal with. So you open that community account and put money inside, and that money is, by the way, is interest free.
Okay.
Right, so you don't. It's tax free. You don't get taxed on the money you actually put in those accounts.
Mhm.
So this is one of the things. If you have a good credit and you come together as a community and put a certain amount of money into those in those community, then we can actually achieve big things.
Yeah.
Right. So as an individual, we of course we do need to have a very strong credit history, but that will help us as well if we put ourselves together in communities
Yeah.
and try to achieve bigger goals.
So thank you very much for uh, clarify what's going on financially in this country. I hope everyone understood how the system works, and in the future, uh, we can deal with this financial system clearly, and hopefully also we can team up together for achieving a lot of stuff. Thank you for watching.
The couple more things I wanted to add was for a lot of people don't know about using line of credits versus using credit cards. Where credit cards you pay very high interest and line of credits you actually pay very small interests. So this is something to know. And the big advice I wanted to give to people mostly was do find the time to have a financial advisor. I know some of the people in our community don't understand a lot of what they don't speak much English, but you can always find a French-speaking advisor somewhere in Vancouver, or if not, you can always get someone who can translate for you. But it's always beneficial to have a financial advisor that follows you up and give you advice on how to go forward with your finances and what to do, where you want to go and what you need to achieve, and they show you how to do that. It's a very good thing to do. And now most people don't like to visit banks because they think when I go to the bank, they will come up with all these things that I don't want to do. No, no, but they normally try to advise you for your benefit. So it's really, really beneficial to do that. No, I do appreciate what Love in Motion Canada is doing, Limo Canada. And just a wake up call. They're doing a wake up call. And a wake up call I wanted to tell most of the people, or some of the people in our community, is the importance of having and apping your RSP. People don't really get to that point where they figure RSP is something important. They don't see that they'll be here maybe in the next 20, 30 years. No, I was one of those people. Really, to be frank, I didn't want to put money away for savings in 50, 60 years from now. But it's very important for people to put that kind of money aside. Know your tax bracket, know where you are in your tax bracket, if you've gone past or not, and understand how your contribution to the RSP happens, and understand that in the future when you have to buy a house, because most of us will have to buy houses. We are the first generation of immigrants here. We have kids who are growing up who are Canadians, and they see how other Canadians have a number of things happening to them, and they want to be like them, and they will raise questions. Why don't we have a house of our home of our own? Like, you've been here for so long and so long, but we're still renting. You don't. We have this kind of questions. You don't want your kids to ask you that kind of questions anyway. So when you have your RSP in order, and there's what the Canadian government calls first home buyer, where you can take money out of your RSPs if you've been contributing for period long enough. You have enough contribution where you can take that money out tax free, and you put that money towards the down payment on your first home. So that's one of the advantages of RSP. But I do encourage everybody in our community to think about the RSP and contribute as much as you can into them. And also the RESP for our kids' education. It's really expensive to go to school in this country. And if you do start planning for that now, today, and start contributing on your RESP, the government do give you a certain portion to maximize on that. So do think about that. It's we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow after tomorrow, but our kids will need to go to school someday, to college, and college is it's really expensive. As I said before, now I try to talk about a few points, but time not as Clement as it should be. But anyway, I a few things I wanted to clarify, and one other crucial thing I wanted to say as a business advisor. Just like to tell people in our community, I find out that I've helped financing a number of people in different communities, the Ethiopian communities, the Congolese community, and the Sierra Leone community. But haven't really had a chance to. I've had a number of Burundians come to my office for business advice, but I haven't really had a chance to sit with a Burundian for any concrete project or business project yet. What I just wanted to say is people in our community, a lot of them are talented. A lot of them have ideas. A lot of them have things they will love to do, things they can do that they always think of doing, they've always projected to do, but think that putting them into practice is just a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work. They can't go through that. They don't, they have to work 8 to 5 or, don't know how many hours or people, how many jobs they do. But they forget that it's really easy to incorporate a company. Really, it's like ABC. You can incorporate a company anytime, put your name and put your ideas and things you want to do. You have that incorporated. You go to any bank, you can get what we call, where I work, we call it running start for business, for example. This is money they give you as we can put it on a line of credit, for you to start a business that you have already. They will ask for your ideas. So putting a business into place is really absolutely easy. So I just want to encourage all those people who know how to in our community, who know how to sew, who know how to do hair, and all these people who have all these ideas of things they would like to do, like opening salons, opening salon de couture, and all these things, that it's feasible. It's as easy as ABC. Once you have someone who knows how to get into it, I'm one of those people. It's really easy to get into them. Don't be afraid. If you have any idea, you have any business you want to bring forward, the banks, most banks here, most banking institutions are ready to go with you. Don't be
Actually, it's
afraid
an
of that.
asset.
It is an asset.